anyone back this horse with any confidence going into this race?
If you look at his form, he's just on fire.
The British team are not very good at all.
Just think he's way too good for the mark that he's currently on. Came out and said that he's definitely the best they have in the yard.
You mentioned the Cheltenham horse. That is literally how we do it over here. Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. Jack and I are going to be previewing the action from Cheltenham this weekend, the Friday and Saturday there at Cheltenham, and looking forward to the action. Jack is going to be there today and tomorrow. Jack, you're looking forward to the action at Cheltenham, I'm guessing.
I can't wait. The old pilgrimage to be back at the grand old Dane. It's going to be brilliant. There's going to be many people there, and hopefully I'll be able to see a few guys there again. I saw quite a few of you on Sandown. It was great for you guys to come up to us. So if you do see me there, come say hello. I won't bite, and I'm not very tall, so you won't be able to spot me very easily.
Do go say hello to Jack if you are there at Cheltenham. We've got plenty of good action coming up over the next few weeks as well. We've got a Christmas special. We're going to be looking at all of the action over Christmas. There's going to be plenty of races we're previewing that day. That's going to come to you Christmas Eve at around 6 p.m. So do look out, set the alarm for that one there, because that's going to be an excellent video. But let's get into the racing from Cheltenham. We've got 2 races we're previewing on the Friday and 4 on the Saturday, which will include the International Hurdle. But we'll start off with the 225 at Cheltenham on the Friday. This is the Betfair Handicap Chase over 3¼ miles. In Rillo's your 5-2 favourite here. Commodore 9-2, Mr. Fogpatch 11-2, Hurricane Harvey 7-1, Santini 9-1, and double figures bar those. Jack, we get to see the 2020 Gold Cup second in Santini come out here. Now, things didn't go quite to plan last season for this horse. Suddenly changed yards. This horse has been described as a boat. Can anyone back this horse with any confidence going into this race?
Not too much confidence. I mean, clearly he does have the class edge, but I mean, he's carrying 11 stone 12. He's got an awful lot to do off of top weight. It just looks like a very, very iffy, butty kind of race. I'm gonna call it. And Rillo, of course, was travelling all right last time out. Won the Bet365 Gold Cup before it was taken off him. He probably is the one to beat. He's been put up. He's off the same mark as last time out, so he probably is the one to beat. But 5-2, I think it's a little bit short. And then you've got Commodore, of course, coming back for a win after a break. They've all got questions to ask for me, and it is going to be a race that I completely leave alone. If I'm going to side with anything, it's going to have to be in Rillo, because he was travelling quite nicely last time out. Of course, fell 4 out, so it'll be interesting to see how he would have actually finished the race that day. But I just think it's a bit of a mess of a race, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I haven't got a real selection here, but the one that I did note down was Rocco for the Twiston Davies team as a potential each-way angle in here. Put up a career best the last day in the Badger Beers at Wincanton. Jumped very well that day. The horse seems to be still improving potentially at the age of 8. It hasn't been seen at Cheltenham since, I think, like January 2019, a listed novice hurdle there. But the horse seemed to run well that day, and I just think that potentially if he jumps as well as he did, he could potentially be there at the finish. But like I said, I'm only sort of putting that horse potentially as a horse for this race, just due to the fact that he's a right old mess, and there could be a few each way angles for you punters as well. So do have a look out for those. But Jack and I, not with anything with real confidence in the opening race that we'll be previewing, but I have got one in the next race here that we will be previewing. This is the 3 o'clock. This is the Glen Farclas Crystal Cup Cross Country Handicap Chase. This trip is 3¾ miles. Midnight Maestro is your 9-2 favourite, along with Plan of Attack and Diesel Dahlia. They're all the same price at 9-2. Back on the Lash, who won here recently over the cross-country fences. That's 11-2. Singing Banjo 17-2. Balco de Flow is 10-1. Potter's Corner 14-1 and 22-1 and bigger the rest of them. Jack, like I say, I've got a horse in here that I do actually quite fancy. I actually put the horse up for the cross-country handicap chase the last day as well, and this is Singing Banjo. Now, Back on the Lash did beat this horse by a neck the last day. Back on the Lash been put up £3. Singing Banjo has put up £2. Now, I do love horses who love these fences, and Singing Banjo is one of those horses. If you actually watch the whole run, Singing Banjo, I didn't even see a single error at any of those fences. And I'm convinced, again, the ground's going to be fairly similar. I don't know what the rain's going to be like and the ground's going to be like on Friday and Saturday, but I think there could be an element of good in the ground for sure. And I think he's going to run another big race, and a £2 rise. I don't think it's going to affect him too much at all. Plan of Attack was the raved up horse that day. I can see why people think he could run another big race here, but I'm going to be with a nice little win bet here on Singing Banjo at around 17-2. Jack, what about yourself in the cross country race?
I'm completely with you with Singing Banjo. I think he's very ground versatile. You've obviously gone through the points there. Obviously, the £7 claimer on board is handy as well. Had that on board last time out. But I completely agree. I think he just jumped those fences so fluently. And of course, if you watch all 8 minutes, I think in 7 seconds of the race, he just travelled really nicely. And it kind of looked as if maybe he wasn't sent as soon as he could have been. Of course, he was closing at the line. I think it was just under half a length in the end of the day. And I think he's definitely going to give a good account. I mean, if you look at his form, he's just on fire on kind of every kind of ground. He's very versatile. And I think he does love the course as well. And he showed that last time out. I think a £2 rise isn't insurmountable. I completely get the point for Midnight Maestro. Of course, Edna Bolger has won this race 7 times. So he clearly knows how to bring them here. It hasn't been seen over the cross-country fences. So has a little question to answer there. But, I mean, Edna Bolger clearly knows what he's doing when it comes to this race. But I'm going to be with you Singing Banjo.
Okay, yeah, joint selection for ourselves in the cross-country race at Cheltenham on the Friday with Singing Banjo at 17-2. Let's move on to the Saturday now, and we'll kick off with the opening race on the cards, the 12:05, the JCB Triumph Trial Juvenile Hurdle. This is a Class 2 2-mile hurdle race, and the Gary Moore Juvenile York Sea is your 11-4 favourite. Message Personnel is 4-1, Patient Dream 5-1, Intern de Civila is 6-1. Titian is 6-1, Twilight Swiss is 8-1, Lady Pacifo is 10-1 and 16-1, bar those. Now, Jack, we all know I love a Gary Moore Juvenile, and I actually think the horse here is a worthy favourite potentially. Was beaten, was third behind Night Salute, who might actually be a Triumph contender himself in March. Looks quite exciting for the team there, but he made a lot of mistakes in this race, York Sea. A bit like a typical Gary Moore Juvenile does. A bit all over the show, makes a few mistakes and kept on well at the finish. That was the notable thing, was how well this horse finished. And I'm hoping that the horse has learned a lot from that run. I really do. And I think if he has learned to jump a little bit better, I can see him finishing very strongly here. And I'm not sure that we've got a real Triumph contender in this race. I'll be totally honest. I think that Night Salute potentially could be a Triumph runner, not a winner, but will definitely be in that race. I'm sure of it. The horses by See the Stars as well. Always interesting seeing horses by See the Stars, a Derby winner, over the jumps. And I just think that potentially he's got plenty of speed. I think Gary Moore's got another good hand of juveniles as well. Obviously, we haven't seen Porticello since his debut run either. So I'm excited to see where that horse goes as well. But Jack, York Sea 11-4. Could it potentially be a bit short for this horse, or do you see the angle?
Yeah, personally, I think it's a little bit short. I think it's very easy to pick out the horses staying on at the line. Of course, if it's a juvenile, you think they'll be able to massively come on for the line. The one thing I do like at the moment with the Moore yard is their French recruits on absolute fire at the moment. I mean, he banged in another Fontwell winner a couple of days ago. He was a French recruit on debut. And of course, Porticello is back out at Doncaster on Saturday. I think most of the good juveniles that are out there, Too Friendly, Night Salute, Porticello, they're all heading to the Summit Juvenile Hurdle on the Saturday. Be interesting to see how Porticello does get on. Of course, up against Magistrato again after they were in France. But yeah, I think Yorksey, he is the one to beat. I'd like to see him a point or two larger. I think 7-2, 4-1 is probably a fairer price than 11-4, just to the eye. I mean, of course, when you see a horse staying on like that, it's very easy to add him to the eye catcher in the tracker pile. But if I'm going to have an each way bet, it's probably on the filly Gala, who finished third last time out. And she just jumped horribly and managed to rally and stay on. And I was very impressed with the performance, considering she didn't jump very well. Hopefully, she'll be able to jump a bit better. She's a reasonable flat horse. She is rated 72 on the flat. Was rated about 80, so I don't mind the switch. 2 hurdles. I think she'll be able to hopefully come on for that run and maybe able to sneak a place.
Okay, Gala for Jack, and each way angle in the race, and myself with the favourite in the Triumph Hurdle race to start the card on Saturday. Now let's get on to the big handicap of the day there. This is the 150. This is the Racing Post Gold Cup Handicap Trophy. It's over 2.5 miles, and Layla is your 9-2 favourite here. Silver Hallmark 6-1. Dostal Phil is 7. Beakstown is 8-1. Faraday is 9-1. Midnight Shadow is 9-1, and double figures bar these. Now we see Layla out here, a horse who has got some really decent form to his name. One thing that has happened since is a massive boost of the form, with the horse finishing in front of Layla Protectorat, coming out and winning the many clouds. Jack, is it one of those races where you don't need to make this too complicated and essentially just side with the favourite here?
See, the thing for me was that race at the Gold Cup last time, it kind of fell apart. And if you look at the likes of Layla, Dostal Phil, Zanza, they were all closing at the line. And again, as I've just said, it's very easy to pick them out when they have just been closing at the line. And if I was going to have to stick my neck out for one of those from that race, it would be Zanza. I still think a mark of 145 underestimates his ability. And I think 11 to 1 is not a bad price. But I keep coming back to Beakstown off 132 for the Skeltons, of course, after such a long break. Finished third. It was a reasonable reappearance, finishing third at Aintree behind Kiltilly Briggs, about 5.5 lengths behind the leader. But what I found interesting, that he went off joint favourite after such a long break. And obviously we saw with West Cork that the Skeltons have been able to bring them back from a break. He should definitely come on for the run. I think he's about 15 to 2. I just think of a mark of 132. I think he's absolutely snuck in there, and hopefully he'll be able to do the business.
Yeah, it's not a next gen racing preview, is it? Without me mentioning a Gary
Exactly.
and you mentioning a Skelton horse. That is literally how we do it over here with the National Hunt previews. Look, I like the angle with Zanz. I think we've both actually put that horse up before at the start of the season. But I can't get past Layla here. I think the horse is going to come on a lot for the run. I think we might see a lot better from this horse, well, in better races as well. And the horse is 9 to 2. I don't know if that's going to get any shorter come the day, but I can see it being quite a popular bet on course. And yeah, it'd be Layla for myself. Jack, who are you going to go with that? Beakstown or Zanza?
I am going to stick my neck out for Beakstown, but I'll be probably having a little each way on Zanza as well.
Okay. Right, let's move on to the 225 here. It's the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, a 3-mile hurdle race. This is a grade 2. It's interesting to see here because the favourites have actually flip-flopped from midweek. And I think hopefully the bookmakers have got it right here. But Blazing Cow is 11 to 8. Jelena Bello 7 to 4. Barony Legends is 6 to 1. Current Mood 16 to 1. Ballygriffin Cottage 25 to 1. And Lockdale Rocco also 25 to 1. It's not actually a race that I want to get stuck into, Jack. I haven't got sort of too much of an interest in this, being totally honest. But I do think potentially they've got the top 2 in the market the right way round now. I think the Blazing Cow look a 2+ lengths winner the last day over Jelena Bello, and I think the juice or the slight juice that's come in the ground is only going to favour Blazing Cow over Jelena Bello. Like I say, it's not a race I'm going to be touching, to be honest. I see it as a 2-horse race, but if I had to put my neck out, it would be Blazing Cow in this, but it would be the obvious selection. Would it be the same for yourself?
Yeah, for me, it's probably a 1-horse race. I think if Blazing Cow produces a similar performance to he did at Cheltenham last time out, I think he's going to be too good, even with a £5 penalty. Charlie Burns, one for the good guys there, it would be, but came out and said that he's definitely the best they have in the yard. He won't be back in for the Albert Bartlett just yet, but I think the extra trip here should definitely suit. I mean, he hit the line with plenty of conviction. I think he's just too good for Jelena Bello. And as you said, the ground's gone against him. Of course, Jelena Bello won a bumper on soft at Plumpton, and Paul Nicholls, of course, they can just come on leaps and bounds, these juveniles, after 1 or 2 runs this season. But I do think Blazing Carl's too good, and hopefully he can be able to vindicate that thought come Saturday.
Yeah, Blazing Cow for the Albert Bartlett on Saturday for Jack and myself. Now let's get on to the highlight then. The last race we will be previewing on the card. This is the 3 o'clock, which is the Unibet International Hurdle over 2 miles. Song for Someone is 9 to 4. Sky Royale 3 to 1. Guard Your Dreams is 11 to 2. Bally Adams 6 to 1. Heaven Help Us 14 to 1. Wild About Oscar 16s, and Hunter's Call also in here at 16 to 1. Jack, you've actually been quite fond of Guard Your Dreams throughout this season. I know you have, but would you be with the horse here? Because it's a really fascinating race seeing Bally Adam back over hurdles.
Yes, personally, I'm gonna be with Guard Your Dreams again. I just think he's completely on the up as a 5-year-old. He ran a really nice race behind Buzz last time out, and I think that the drop back and trip should actually suit. I think 2 mile 3 furlong, he travelled really nicely and just couldn't find that change of gear which he showed at Cheltenham on his penultimate run. I still think he's on the up. I think you have to take on the Song for Someone and So Royal. I think they're kind of a little bit of muchness up there, and I do think that perhaps Song for Someone, that wind up may have helped. But the second run after a wind up, I would kind of prefer to watch, especially at 7 to 4. And So Royal, I've never really been too fond with. I've never really been able to grip him, it's fair to say. And as a 9-year-old, I think you do have to oppose it. But Bally Adams, so intriguing, isn't it, going back over hurdles? Of course, we were raving about him last year for the Supreme. And it'll be interesting to see how he does come back, because something's obviously gone wrong. He found it hard to actually get over a hurdle, and here he is trying to come back to them. So, I mean, he clearly couldn't jump over fences. They reverted back to hurdles. Will he be able to build on what he did last year as a hurdler? If he did, then he'll be bang there, and 6 to 1's an okay price. I think Guard Your Dreams and Bally Adam at 5 to 6 to 1 respectively are both fair enough prices, but I will be siding with Guard Your Dreams and hopefully one for the Twiston Davis team.
Okay, yeah, Jack with Guard Your Dreams. Now, I've had a lot of messages.
I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people messaging me saying, this horse is a dog, this horse can't jump, this horse is a massive cliff horse for you, Sam. The latter I can probably agree with. But look, this horse here, I actually think that the British 2 mile hurdling division, like the British 2 mile hurdlers, are not very good at all. I think if Honeysuckle's going to turn up at the moment, the horse absolutely romps off. I actually think if Adagio was in here, I actually think Adagio would have won this quite comfortably. I'm quite fond of Adagio, and I think he's actually a decent each way bet for the champion hurdle taking on Honeysuckle at this stage. I'm quite excited by him. I was very impressed by his latest run off top weight. But Ballyadam, like Jack said there, the horse has ability. This horse isn't a dog. He won a Royal Bond novice hurdle. And since then, I've been raving on.
A weak one.
It was a weak one, yeah, but I've been raving on about him since then. And he finished second in the Supreme. Yes, he was beaten by 24 odd lengths. But the horse absolutely clattered the second last. He really did. He dropped back through the field. I think he must have lost about 5 or 6 places within that race. And then he regained that position to go, well, he drew well clear of the rest of them towards the finish. Now, the horse has been schooling. The horse has had a run over fences, or a couple of runs over fences. And potentially this could have helped his jumping. I know he can't jump over a fence, but it might have helped him just get over a hurdle a little bit better. I think he's got so much pace. I think he is a decent 2 mile hurdler. If he can sort out his jumping, I think he's got loads of speed, and I'm actually quite excited by him. And like I say, I'm not very fond of the 2 mile hurdling division. I think Sky Royale is definitely worth taking on. Like Jack said, a horse that I've never got to grips with. Song for Someone one is probably the worthy favourite on form lines, and Guard Your Dreams, like Jack said, is still improving, and I can't help but agree with him potentially. But yeah, Ballyadam for me is a win bet. I think he's a fair price at 6-1. Rachel Blackmore comes over, and another decent graded race to add to her CV from what I can see. So Jack and I are both on with Ballyadam, but Jack is mainly with Guard Your Dreams in the international hurdle. Now, before we leave, we have to give our naps and next best. Let's start off with the next best, shall we? Jack, what's your next best this weekend?
The next best is going to be the Saturday 3 o'clock Guard Your Dreams at 5-1. I seriously think he's on the up. He loves it around here. The drop back and trip, I do think he's very speedy. He travels really nicely. Hopefully the ground's going to suit. Hopefully he'll be able to continue his ascendancy with others giving weight away.
Okay, my next best is going to be in the same race, and it will be a Ballyadam as a win bet in here. So we're taking each other on with our next best this week. And your nap, Jack, of the weekend.
The nap is actually going to come today, Friday, the last race of the day, 3:35, and I can't get away from Botox has his mark. He's dropped 4 pounds since the run last time out in the Great Wood, and I just think he's way too good for the mark that he's currently on. I think he's got plenty of ability. When I went to see him at Gary Moore's, I couldn't help but notice him when he was galloping. I mean, he just looked like he oozed class, and Gary Moore was really excited. Josh said he hoped that he'd turn a corner. He obviously didn't. Over fences, they've reverted to hurdles, and I mean at 15-2, it'd be great to see the Gary Moore team. I know Gary isn't fond of the journey to Cheltenham, so I assume his head lad will be there. But hopefully Botox has can finally regain that form and turn the corner that we so want him to.
Oh, Jenny, I wish the printer would work better and I could show it on camera. But my nap this weekend is
No way.
Top Taz, yes. I really fancy him off his mark. I think he could be quite decent, and he's Gary Moore, so just why not? But Jack, genuinely, I can't actually believe that. I was shocked you were going to do that. But yeah, Botox has a joint nap for myself and Jack this weekend, coming from none of the races we actually previewed. So, oh God, we've cursed that horse now. So sorry, Gary Moore. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but that's going to be it for this week. Jack and I are going to be back with you guys next Friday morning for our preview. And then, like I say, I think it'll be the following week. The following Friday will be Christmas Eve, where our Christmas preview will be out. Well, there will be something special. Jack will be joining me, as long as COVID rules say it's safe, but I'm sure they will. Jack will be joining me for a very interesting episode of the Next Generation channel. So do look forward to that. But thanks for all the recent support, and we will see you next week for our weekend preview.